Okay, good evening. Hello everyone who tuned in tonight. Welcome to our live event, our digital service, Murder on the Dance Floor. I'm glad that despite the kind of grim title that we chose for this, we could convince some people to join us tonight. So, it has been a long time for all of us that we have had to go without the joy of live music. I'm sure for many of us, it has been the longest time that we've ever had to go so long without it. I can certainly say that for myself, and I think for my colleagues as well. And so I'd like you to think of tonight as a service. Tonight, we want to look back at what's happened over the past 12 months and at what didn't happen as well. At all this live music that we very unfortunately couldn't do. At all the, in a sense, all the live music that could have been, but that never was. Now, we all know that far worse things than just the lack of live music have happened over the past 12 months, and we don't for a second want to lose that sense of perspective. But just for the moment, just for tonight, we'd also like to allow ourselves to mourn, to think about what could have been, to mourn those losses, and not only to look back, but also to look ahead, to look towards the future. There is reason now for cautious optimism. The vaccine is there. There's finally a light on the horizon, and maybe sooner rather than later, we will get to enjoy live music again. So the four of us are all students at the University of the West of Scotland, and each of us has prepared a contribution, a sort of eulogy, if you will, for this celebration of the memory of live music. What's going to happen now is that we're going to show you these four contributions, and then at the end, we'd like to invite you all to have a look at our website. We'll put the link in the live chat and in the comments and the description and wherever else we can plaster it. And this live stream will be available for viewing afterwards on that website, but also it is an open space where anybody can post if they please. So if you have something or you come up with something in memory of live music that you would like to share, then please feel free to post your own contribution. That can be of any form. It can be a poem or a text or a song or a picture, however you like it really, as long as it helps you deal with what we've all been going through. But now, without further ado, I'm going to present the first contribution, which is my own. This is a song called Wicked Livestream.
Turned up tonight and they're looking to have a good time, and I promise that only about 7 of those came because of my mother's invite. About 40% were excited enough to put on something below the waistline. The video is grainy, the internet is slow. It's showtime. Welcome to this wicked live stream. Let's indulge in memories. Let's pretend it's 2019 and forget the screen. Previously, we might have danced till 3. Now we're sitting here on a sofa. Take your pick, coffee or tea, or if you are feeling wild, Coca-Cola. Now the music starts, now your laptop speakers overdrive from the beat. And if you find that it's sufficiently fire, who knows, you might tap your feet. Welcome to this wicked live stream. Let's indulge Welcome to this wicked live stream. Let's indulge in memories. Let's pretend it's 2019 and forget the screen. Welcome to this wicked live stream. Let's indulge in memories. Let's pretend it's 2019 again and forget the screen.
Hi. Okay. So for my call a few friends of mine from give their contribution and just reminisce about what they feel about live music, about what they missed about the whole thing. Because the truth is this was when we had access to live music at our fingertips, we didn't value it. But for the last 1 year, we have come to see how important it is, how it's a part of our lives, and it's been as if one part of our life was just taken off from us. So I had to call on a few friends who had a few things to say. Just watch and enjoy.
Today, we gather in commemoration of one whom lots of people refer to as complex, one who was misunderstood, especially by people who had never experienced him.
As an extreme extrovert who always like to go out, listen to music and hang out with my husband, it's been a change for us, having to deal with the change in the world, not being able to go to live concerts and everything that's happened.
Concerts are a perfect opportunity for these artists to show off their stage performances and connect with their fan base on a personal level. But the pandemic robbed us of this.
I would say the communication between the artist and the fan. Presently, you don't get that live feedback anymore, right? So it's been replaced with emojis, and which is not really the way it ought to be. I could imagine an artist on stage or somebody like Travis Green, doing his thing, and the band stop, and you hear the crowd yelling back and stuff. We don't get those kind of aura of late.
Look at the psychological effect it's having on us, the audience. When you are in the scene of the live event, the feel you get, the drama you have, the electrifying, and all that. So it's not there. It's missing. We don't feel it no more.
I miss the feeling of being out there, being in the crowd, having a rave and screaming, being starstruck. But now I have to do all this from my laptop by virtual concerts. It's just not the same. There's something about live music. You need to be there to enjoy it being live.
I also miss the quality of sound that is being generated, by the band. We don't get that anymore. You can never compare a reinforced sound to to what we're hearing of the speakers, the laptops, or the cell phones.
Not even the advent of the e-live streaming of music now. The feeling is not there. It doesn't bring it. So it's so sad. So sad. I just wish I could feel myself on the stage now. Dancing and singing away COVID-19 out of the globe. Wish I just could.
This really doesn't feel good at all. But then, too bad we couldn't enjoy all of this music because of the pandemic.
A man of the people. His ability to bring people together was matchless to none, regardless of their ethnicity, race, religion, language, political ideologies. He had his way around them all. The hero that takes me away from my harsh realities to the clouds of bubbling energies and frequencies as follows. Since his demise, I have been left without a path to get out of my mind. I have been left without a path to absorb the energy of the community. There are a lot of things I remember about him. His lively jazz, his thunderous voice. He will be missed.
Hi, so I'm Kat, and for my contribution, I decided to compile a whole bunch of footage from my favourite live memories and compile them into like a sort of digital collage with some spoken word over the top to try and help me convey the joy I find in live music. And hopefully you'll find some commonalities in there, and that will help us share the things that take us from fellow fans to a community. Things I miss. Sticky floors, shuffling feet, warm pints and sweaty palms, expectant crowds, big shows, small shows, festivals, local gigs, international gigs. Hanging back from the crowd and nubbing the set list, peeling tatty posters from bathroom stall walls, feeling sick before approaching the band to chat, buying merch to wear home like a badge of honour, the joyful drunken haze of walking home with ears ringing, collecting tickets, waking with stamps on my skin, having sticky beer poured in my hair by immersed onlookers, getting stepped on and coming home bruised, wearing new shoes to a show, regretting wearing my new shoes to a show, forgetting to take videos to remember the show, being too wrapped up in the music to forget to take mementos, pinching confetti from the floor after the cannons go off and the lights have faded, wearing too many layers and refusing to use the cloakroom, wearing too few layers and freezing waiting to get into the venue, bumping into friends you didn't know would be there, bumping into acquaintances who became your friends, becoming friends with the staff who begin to recognise you, making friends with the bouncers, the tension when the stage lights up. The inevitable goosebumps when you hear the first chord, the unexpected tears when a song resonates with you all over again, hearing a new song before it has been released, the roar of a Scottish crowd in a foreign country, the "Hear We" chant, walking to your spot in the venue as the band starts, wrestling past people to get to the bar, finally getting served, paying too much for shitty beer, spilling your drink on your way to find your friends, chugging a pint because you need both hands to dance to your favourite song, hearing the fans next to you singing out of key, getting annoyed when the crowd can't clap in time, trying not to look at the couple in front of you who won't stop kissing, laughing with your friends when they keep looking by accident, bumping into the same strangers at every gig and the mutual smile shared between you, embarrassing your friends when they're still trying to be cool, dancing with the ones you love with the music you share. Singing too loud, crowd surfing, mosh pits, surprisingly good support bands, really terrible support bands, accidentally missing the support band turning out to be a new favourite, running to the station after the show to catch the last train home, feeling like a rock star when your friend is on the doors, being on the doors and realising it's not that glamorous, getting up super early to get into the pre-sale, being gutted when you miss the pre-sale, having a friend who knows you're useless at pre-sales, the night before the first day of a festival, picking your outfit, changing your outfit last minute anyway, migrating to the pub after a sweaty show, arriving early for doors and finding the venue empty, searching for your earplugs in your bag, dropping them on the floor and having to look for them with your phone torch, accidentally arriving for a show on the wrong day, showing up at the wrong venue for a show, grabbing water cups from the security guys, sharing them with strangers, finding clothes next to you that didn't belong to you, the encore you didn't expect, the second encore when you've nearly had enough, secret live guests, when a band you love from far away finally plays near you, when artists play the UK tour that actually includes Scotland, seeing artists from the other side of the world in your local venue, following them abroad to see them in theirs, feeling the speakers vibrate your bones, the ground shake when everyone jumps in unison, the ear-shattering cheer at the end of a great show, being lucky enough to catch that rare flying pick or drumstick, leaving a gig excited and exhausted, hearing the music from the bathroom when you nip out for a pee, the indescribable feeling of community.
Hi, I'm Meg. I'm sure there are many things that we all miss about live music, and that's one of the main reasons why we're all here today, to share in what we miss. I wanted to use this time to rediscover why I love live music so much, so for my contribution, I'm going to look back at some of my favourite gig memories.
Live music means so much to so many, but for me, live music is getting to see my favourite band, or my mate's band, or just some random band that I've never heard of before playing live on stage. It's standing in the middle of the crowd, drenched in sweat, and singing along, out of key, with everyone else. It's clapping in time with the beat, it's the Here We chant, it's dancing and jumping about with the rest of the crowd. It's standing at the bar and chatting to folk that I've never seen before and I'll probably never see again. And it's leaving the venue covered in what I really hope is beer and being so buzzed afterwards that my friends and I would spend hours in McDonald's just chatting and reliving the night. For years, I thought that my first gig was seeing Admiral Fowl at the O2 ABC in 2012 when I was just 12, because that's the show that I always say was when I discovered my love for live music. But other than it being what I thought was my first gig, I remember this show as one of my favourites because I was practically snuck in with a fake ID, and it's the only time in my life that I've ever used one. As the show was a 14 plus, I distinctly remember being on the train up to Glasgow and my mum and my aunt made me learn the details on the passport that they had sourced from the daughter of one of my mum's friends, who, by the way, I looked nothing like. I was so worried about getting knocked back at the doors, and I got myself all worked up that when it came to it, the bouncer didn't even look at me or my fake ID. which is probably a good thing because I don't think I would have been able to convince them that the passport was mine. The gig itself was incredible. The way the crowd was, the music, the atmosphere, and just the overwhelming sense of community, because they were a hometown band, just made everything so special for me. And it's something that I would relive if I could in a heartbeat. I've definitely tried, and I've gotten pretty close as I've seen Admiral Fallow so many times since. But my only regret from that show was not saving my gig ticket or getting any kind of memorabilia from it. About a month ago, I noticed that one of the first bands that I'd ever seen live were playing a 10-year anniversary show for their biggest headline in Glasgow, which I knew I was at. But when I looked at the dates, I realised that this headline show that Cassidy were celebrating turns out to actually be my first ever gig. I'd always thought it was maybe my second or third. The show took place in 2011, just over a month before Admiral Fallow, and thinking on it now, I don't remember much about the show other than it being the first time that I ever heard the Here We chant. And I was so mesmerised by it, and that the crowd were just fully immersed in this chant, and I desperately wanted to join in, but because again I was with my mum and my aunt, and they definitely weren't chanting, I felt like I probably shouldn't. Another favourite gig memory for me was when I saw Bears Den at the O2 ABC in 2016, and halfway through their set they played their song Isaac, but they came out into the middle of the crowd to play it. No microphones, no amps, nothing. Just a guitar, the lead singer singing his heart out, and the rest of the band accompanying him with stunning backing harmonies. The crowd was silent the entire time. No one dared sing along, terrified to disrupt the music, but we all mouthed the words. All 1,300 of us were so silent that you could hear a pin drop because we were all desperate to hear every note. This is something that I've seen Bears Den do at other shows that I've been to, and I've seen many other bands do something similar. But that first time took me totally by surprise, and it's just one of the most wonderful things I think I've ever been a part of, and it still gives me goosebumps to this day, because that really showed me what the heart of live music is, and you don't need the fancy light show or the pyrotechnics to connect with an artist and their music.
Oh, never, Josephine, my love, now.
Looking forward, I'm excited about live music because I know it's going to return. And although it might be a little bit different than what it was before, I'm sure it will still mean just as much to me, if not more, than before. I'm ready for it to return. I'm ready to create more memories at Cassidy's 10-year anniversary show, and at Admiral Fallow's next Glasgow headline, and every other show that I go to or that I put on. So, I'd like to raise a glass, and when it's time, welcome live music back with open arms and the biggest cheer possible.
Okay, that concludes our service in memory of live music. We hope that you all enjoyed yourselves, and perhaps for some of you that these contributions that we just showed you helped you relive that appreciation for the live music that we all know and love in the same way that it did for us, and also help you look ahead at what is hopefully to come. Now, before we leave, I'd like to once again extend an invitation to anybody in the audience and anybody else really to have a look at our website. We'll put the link in the live chat in just a second, and feel free to post your own contribution commemorating live music. Once again, that can take any form. It can be a poem, a text, a song, or a picture, whichever you please. But whatever you enjoy, whatever helps you cope with that lack, please feel free to post it. And we're going to sign off. Thank you again for tuning in tonight, and have a good rest of the night.